Hey there, everybody. Welcome to week 14. We're really kind of wrapping up. We've covered a lot of religions, world religions. Now we're just kind of fitting in so maybe not lesser known, but like maybe not so worldly, but very much impacting the world around us. Um, that would be Confucianism, Taoism, and Shintoism, which again have been around for a long time. Are they religions? That's kind of, or are they belief systems? I definitely think Shintoism would fit all the parameters of a religion with deities and forms of worship and festivals. Confucianism and Taoism sometimes are seen in more philosophical belief systems rather than sort of religions, which hopefully by this time in the course you can kind of work through that yourself. What do we mean by religion? Confucius isn't a god; he's not worshipped, but he's very influential in this idea of. And Taoism, Lao Tzu, similarly, is sort of this mythical figure. Lao Tzu means like old man, so just kind of, but both of them, Confucianism and Taoism, as we've talked about in the lecture, are trying to figure out this idea of harmony. Like, where is harmony found in the world? Confucius and Confucianism says harmony is found in humans, right? It's through the Junzi, we have to sort of cultivate these qualities, values, traits in ourselves. I gave some traits in the lecture. They're spelled a little bit different in the textbook, but I think you can kind of. I tried to put those in the review guide. I kind of matched those up, like I think it's Zhen and Ren and Xiao and Jiao. So those hopefully those make sense. Again, the textbook gave a lot of the historical background, so I kind of left that out this time as well. Because I think we sort of talked about some of the history there in these regions. So that's sort of Confucius. So history of Confucius, it was this kind of period where China was breaking down. People wanted to create this harmony. And Lao Tzu, Taoism says, there is harmony as well, but it's found in nature and the Tao, this sort of eternal force that if you fight it, you're swimming upstream, right? You're paddling against the current. Any of those sort of metaphors is really what Taoism is all about. Like find that natural energy that exists, this sort of force, both out there but within yourself as well. Your Tao might be different than somebody else's, and that's totally fine. And find it and go with it. And Taoism is sort of more esoteric, if you will, metaphysical. And if you did the Taoist readings, it doesn't tell you how to follow it. It tells you what the Tao isn't more than it tells you what the Tao is. But I do think some of the metaphors it uses, like Tao is like water. That is both sort of the softest and the hardest material out there. Water is malleable. You can go through your fingers, but also cuts through rocks, right, over time. So these kind of ideas. And I gave a video of Confucius and also one about the tomb sweeping ceremony. So there is Taoism and festivals within China today. Confucius is still very well known. Confucius has been studied in schools. Talks about the examination system. The Confucianism, then the sort of philosophical system, became part of the mindsets in many ways, sort of meshed in with Buddhism as well, with Neo-Confucianism that the textbook talks about. It's kind of there. And then Shintoism on the other side of that, Japanese indigenous religions. You have kami, these sort of nature beings, spirits that can be personifications of things. Amaterasu in the sun, or Inari as a rice, and the fox, kitsune, all of these kamis that are there, storms, but they could be trees or rocks, right? Anything that has sort of natural power. Maybe from Hawaii, we might think of like sort of mana, that things have this power, this essence. And then Shintoism, shrines are very important. I gave a couple videos about going into shrines and how the process for that. If there's a Shinto shrine in Hilo, if you want to go, particularly for New Year's, a big festival, you can go just kind of follow those. Don't walk directly in the middle of the torii one way or another. Wash your hands before you enter. Those kind of ones. And then I gave some other Fushimi Inari shrine, a very famous one, a little bit of history of that. And then Shinto festivals are very popular in Japan as well. So Setsuban Festival I gave there. So yeah, and then this week, just kind of quiz 3 again, no writing on this one, no maps, just some terms association from these last 3 weeks: Polynesian societies, indigenous societies, and religions, and then Shintoism, Confucianism, Taoism as well. Yeah, so that last section, just to kind of go over. So in the last section, you have legend association. So I'll give you a legend, and you identify which god it is from. Again, that's all using the whatever was supplied in the course. Similarly to text, I'll give you some excerpts of texts. You just to match them with the belief system there as well. Should be pretty straightforward, I think. But if you have questions, let me know. For last week, the discussion posts, thank you. Those were really good. Good job on picking an item and then expressing how it relates to religion. I figured that was a little more memorable than just kind of me trying to go through each and every one. And as you, from that map of North America and indigenous peoples and tribes, I mean, there's so many around. I just kind of picked ones that I'm more familiar with. But the Institute Museum of the American Indian. Hopefully, you went through that catalog. Pulled out some ones there. Just a note, I put this on some people's in my comments. Sometimes the link to the picture wasn't there. I mean, the picture was there, but sometimes I was confused of whether this was from that museum or just a picture found on the internet. So if I took some points off because it was hard for me to determine. Some I could back did, and then it was. So long story short, if you can just put in the link to, instead of just the picture, also upload the link from the Museum of the American Indian that you got your picture from. That'll be fine. Just you can either email me directly or put it into the I guess reply to your post. That'd be great. It was kind of hard with other links that were there, and then kind of got a little confusing for me, and I had a lot of these to go through. So yeah. So if you have any questions about that, just go ahead and do that. But I did learn a lot of cool objects and artifacts, and good job bringing those, showing how they relate to different religious traditions and in the Americas. So great. Have a good Thanksgiving. Oh, one last note. Do note the quiz 3 is available from Friday in the morning till Sunday in the evening. So you have all weekend to take it. Yeah, great. Have a good Thanksgiving.